Okay, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. Hopefully, we're well. Maybe you can give me a quick. Oh, dear, we got a bit of company joining us here. Maybe you can give me a quick sound check and make sure we're coming through okay. Let's have a look who we've got in the house today. Simmer Hill. Great music this time. Yes, slightly better than last time. Yeah, I can't choose the music. If I chose the music, I tell you, I wouldn't be any of that stuff. But it's slightly better than last time. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, as always, do let me know where you are tuning in from. If this is indeed your first time, let me know the level of experience that you have as well. This is remarkable timing. The kids bought this kitten over the weekend, or we bought this kitten over the weekend. And it's been kitten sleep about 18 hours a day apparently. It's been asleep all morning, and just as I've started streaming, he's woken up, haven't you? Here he is. Look, this is the little kitten we just got. There he is, sitting there looking at me streaming away. So there we are. Hopefully he won't disturb me too much. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know the level of experience you had. I want to make sure that I don't pitch this too high and too low. So let me know exactly where you are in your trading journey. These streams always work a lot better when there's flowing conversation. So do get involved. Treehawk Trader, gosh, good to see you still contributing to the FX education space. Yes, a long time no see. Trey, did you follow me? You've been following me for many years, haven't you? Yeah, in the old space and the previous world as well. When I worked with was it Forex Signals? That's when I got my my YouTube plaque. So yeah, gosh, good to see you. Drop me an email. Let me know how you're getting on. Good to see you. If you are tuning in for the first time, let me tell you basically what goes on now. We'll spend the next 30 minutes having a look at the markets, basically what the driving forces are behind the markets, why we're in. There he is. He's looking at me. Look at him. Isn't he cute? He's quite cute, isn't he? There he is, sitting on my desk there. Look. Yeah, I'll let you know what basically the markets are doing, what's been driving the markets. Busy week last week in terms of central bank. We'll look at the week ahead, what we can expect to see in the markets, forex indices, and the like. Talking about the economic releases, then we will jump on the charts and have a look to see if there are indeed any trading opportunities. Gosh, Treehawks Trade has been following me for 7 years. Good to see you, Nelson. Good to see you as well, and Aguna. Good to see you in the house. There we are. Excuse me a second. Right, okay. And also on a Monday, we do the Guess the Gold competition. Your chance to win a free assessment account. All you need to do to enter the competition is to basically guess where you think gold will be at the end of the week. Now, next week I will be away. I'm actually going to be sailing in Turkey with some schoolmates of mine. So I won't be doing it. So we're going to guess the price of gold in 2 weeks' time, which will be the whatever it is, the 3rd of October or something like that, 4th, 5th of October, maybe the following Friday. So it's a 2-week one this time. Ray Dalio, yeah, I passed the evaluation giveaway account you gifted me today. You passed. Congratulations. How did you pass that? Was that the that's only a week. You've done very well to gain 10% in a week. What do you put that down to, Ray? So Ray here, he won this evaluation a couple of weeks ago, or what, last week, I think it was, a couple of weeks maybe. And now he's now got a fully funded account. So now you are able to withdraw money if you make a profit. So congratulations to you. Excuse me, I shouldn't be drinking that. That's my tea. I'm not going to be drinking that now, am I? So congratulations. How did you do that? Share us what you got up to. How do you trade? You're scalping or you swing trading? How do you get on? Last week's competition, I've been doing this at about, I don't know, I think for about, certainly since Prop Space, I've been doing these giveaways of some form or another really for about the last 10 years. Normally, NFP, non-farm payroll, gold is sort of more of a recent one. And no one has actually ever got it on the dot until this week. So this week, let's have a quick look at where gold ended the week. Gold ended the week basically. Where are we? Gold ended the week. It's been on a tear, hasn't it? Gold has been on an absolute tear over the last. Well, you see here down the bottom of the chart, basically up from July of this year, gold has really benefited from the interest rates. Gold is up now almost 14% since the summer, end of July. So just 1.5 months. Gold. Oh, he's going to walk all over the keyboard now. That's not good, is he? You don't want to put him over there. Gold has been on a tear, and again another big move in gold last week. Gold closed the week. Let's just take this up to the weekly chart. Okay, so gold basically came in and closed at 3684. Now, I think we all, by looking at the sort of entries, pretty much everyone was playing for a week where gold would push higher, and it did. It was also part of our call last week, gold pushing higher. No real resistance in gold at the moment. I think it just continues to push higher. It's benefiting from the interest rate cuts that we saw last week from the Fed. Not only just the one cut, but also the fact that the Fed took on quite a dovish stance as well, basically saying that there's another 2 cuts in the pipeline, and gold's benefiting from that. Gold's also benefiting from the global uncertainty, tariffs, wars going on as well. It's normally a safe haven. You've got central bank buying gold as well. So gold is just continuing to push, and I think it does continue to push. Whoops, Daisy, where's he gone? It does continue to push higher. We did have a winner. We had a winner who was bang on with gold, and we got. Let me just put it up. So the winner, 3684. If you're listening in, let me know. You need to be listening in to win. If you don't listen in live, then of course you won't be qualified to take the prize. So the winner this week goes to Kyan Damar, who got it spot on, bang on, 3684. 3684, which is about 4% higher in the week. So a really big move for gold, and you got it bang on. And in fact, if you're listening in, Jane, who called 3680, you were close. You were just $4 away. And also Asan, beg your pardon, Kayla was also $4 away to the upside, 3688. So we had 3680, 3684, and 3688. So all three did very well, but KN got it bang on the money, 3684. So congratulations to you. Right, so we're going to guess now the price of gold for 2 Fridays' time, okay, because I won't be here next week, as I have said. So the 3rd of October, get your guesses in. I will just pull up a Google form which you can use to put your suggestions in, and we'll have a look at it. That's not the one, is it? Don't think so. Just bear with me a second. I've got they give me the wrong code. Let me just put it up then. Where is it? It's going to be there. Where are we going to go? Let's just pull up. Guess the gold. Responses there. Shorten code. Copy and plop it in there. So there's the form. There's the form. Get your guesses in, and you've got a chance to win a $12,500 experienced trader evaluation, just like Ray Dalio there, who's now trading live money. You took the insights from Prop IQ webinar and always to hold trades. Well, that's what Ray says here, because I asked Ray what he attributes his wins to, and he basically said he took the info we really gave out on that webinar, which you can see on the homepage of the site. It basically gives you the insights to what the successful prop traders are doing. Excuse me, you can't do that. You can't take that, my friend. You can't do that. He's fascinated on my having my tea. So yeah, and one of the insights was basically those that are successful tend to hold the trades longer than 30 seconds. That was one of the traits of the successful trader, basically, not scalping. So yeah, sitting on those trends. And I think, to be honest, I haven't looked at the accounts this morning, but seeing the way that gold's moved and the way the stock markets have moved, I should think quite a few people have done quite well in trading if you are inclined to run with the trend. It's in and out, shake it all about traders that tend to not give up, but tend to blow up accounts if you're trying to outwit the market. But getting on a trend, sticking with the trend is often the best way to go. You could, of course, move your stops up to lock in profits as you go. I'm not a big fan of moving stops, to be honest myself. But certainly, because you always get caught out at the end. But yeah, running the trends higher. Presumably you were trading in gold, were you, Ray? You must have been looking at some gold, trades. I would have thought so. Hope so. Excuse me. There we go. Took off him to wake up just as I'm about to go live. There you are. Okay, so there it is. Congratulations on that. Now, as always, before I get into the charts and my analysis of the week ahead, this is only meant for education and entertainment purposes. Whatever I say, do not deem as investment advice. All grown up in here. You've got to make sure that you trade strategy, not trade what other people think is going on. And the day, I don't have the authority on knowing where markets are going. I personally just use tested strategies that I've tested over the years, and that's basically what I do. I might have views on the markets, but I don't trade my own independent view. Not in this day trading environment. I obviously have investments which I trade on views and so forth. I'm actually thinking about getting into some emerging markets over the next quarter as well, but again, not for day trading. So there you have it. Right, okay. So what happened last week? It was a big week last week. Yeah, big week for central bank rate decisions. Big week for central bank rate decisions. Just bear with me a second. I'll see if I can do something here. Sorry about that. Had to deal with the kitten. He's all over the place. So what are the main drivers last week? Big week last week for central bank rate decisions. We had rate decision out of the Fed. The Fed cut their interest rates by 25 basis points as widely expected and anticipated. But the interesting rhetoric that came out of the meeting was the fact that they are seeing further cuts. They do what's known as a dot plot. They basically plot the dots of where they think rates will be in periods of time in the future. And it looks like they are penciling in now 2 more cuts towards the end of the year. You know, the tool we always use for that is the Fed Watch tool. It basically tells you what the futures market is looking at, and the Fed Watch tool is now showing, I think it's, well, let's just put it across, shall we? It's now showing a, so end of the year basically takes us to December the 10th meeting. Rates at the moment at 4%. There's now a 80% chance that there will be basically two more 25 basis point cuts. Only 18% chance of one cut. So it's highly likely, if you believe the futures markets, which is normally pretty accurate on this, two more cuts by the end of the year. But then if you take it out to March of next year, okay, that's when we're expecting maybe just one further cut into 2026, taking us down to 3.25, basically 75 basis points from here. There is an 63% chance of another 0.25% cut. So this is basically priced into the market. The reason why I show this is because it's really important. You think they're cutting interest rate, you think the markets should do a certain thing. Well, it's priced into the markets. The markets are expecting this. If you know what the markets are expecting, then when it actually is delivered, you know, you shouldn't be necessarily shocked and thinking that you're going to be the fastest fingers first and basically trading it because they're cutting interest rates. You should sell the dollar. Well, if you look at what happened last week, the US dollar traded lower on the back of the interest rate cut initially, but then shot up by 1.5% immediately after. That's basically unwinding of positions, catching some dollar short traders as well as they're scrambling to cover their position. So just because you know what's just because you see the cut doesn't mean necessarily it does what it should do. As I say, it doesn't always do that. And because we had that cut, we also had some really strong moves, I think, in the stock markets and gold markets. A bit of a correction, but now it looks as though the trend does indeed want to continue. We also had the Bank of England. They left their rate unchanged. Two actually of the panel actually voted for a cut. But the 7 members that voted for unchanged basically won the day. So no change in interest rates in the UK, which you would deem to think that is supportive of pound strength. However, the issues going on with the pound, with massive government borrowing far exceeding expectations. I think they moved up to 18 billion for the month of borrowing, up from 13 billion. As expected. PSBR, I think that's called public sector borrowing requirement. That showed, ballooning deficits there. So the fiscal problems you've got in the UK are weighing heavy on the British pound. So the British pound happens to be one of the softer currencies at the moment, and I think also that prevails as well, despite the fact that you've got higher interest rates. So British pound under pressure. And then the Bank of Japan, they left their interest rates unchanged as well. Again, widely expected. They've got political uncertainty over there. They've got election of prime ministers. They've got the unknown effects of the Trump tariffs all weighing on the Bank of Japan. But the Bank of Japan are basically, different to the other central banks that are all thinking about cutting interest rates. Bank of Japan have pressure to the upside on interest rates. Inflation is pushing higher, and wage growth in Japan is far beating expectations, which is obviously inflationary. So at some point, the Bank of Japan are going to have to think about rising interest rates. When they raise their interest rates and the rest of the world are cutting their interest rates, there's what's known as an unwind of carry trades going on. So when that does start happening, be certainly mindful that the dollar against the Japanese yen has got a lot of space to make up to the downside. I think we discussed that on the charts last week. I'll maybe look at it later. But there you have it. Bank of Japan left interest rates unchanged, although the upward pressure maintains. The Japanese yen did very little, in fact. Okay, so let's have a quick look then at what we have got out before we do, let's have a look at what the main drivers were, or the main movements were last week. Gold, as I say, up about 1% on the week, but it was actually up about 4% from the lows of the week. So still big solid moves in gold, S&P 500, the NASDAQ, again, only up marginally, but they were up from so only ended up the week 1%. NAS was up 2%, but from where they were early on in the week, up significantly. The DAX was unchanged, really. Dollar was unchanged at the end, but the dollar was down. The dollar was down, and it bounced 1.5% to end the week unchanged. It bounced after the rate announcement. And then you got the FTSE unchanged, well, up 0.5%. Bitcoin was unchanged, down. WTI, oil, trading to the downside. One of my picks, really, is looking at oil trading that to the downside this week. I think there's a downward bias, and I think we're going to see some tests of those lower levels later. I'm just looking at Tesla stock as well. It's all over the news at the moment. Tesla was up 5% on the week. It's up 20% in 2 weeks, but Tesla is actually up. I think it's about 45% now since the lows in the summer when Trump and Musk were sort of in the White House together, and he was not spending as much time at the company. Stocks were hit. We've actually seen a bounce now, 47%, I think, since those lows. So Elon Musk is firmly in position now of the world's richest currency, richest person, as it were. Okay, so those are the main movers for last week. Trend is your friend. I think we've still got bias momentum to the upside for gold, bias momentum and the upside for the stocks. So that's and downward momentum possibly for oil is what I'm looking at this week, but we'll look at that on the charts in a moment. Okay, so not a lot out today in terms of economic news. In fact, there's not much out this week anyway in terms of economic news. We've got the Fed speakers coming on this afternoon, 5 p.m. London time. That's about midday in New York. Lots of Fed speakers giving their views. Now that they've had the FOMC decision, they come on the wires and they start talking more about the outlook going forward. And if you look at the dot plot, as I mentioned a moment ago, you're mostly going to see Fed speakers are erring on the dovish side. So in theory, you'd expect to see the dollar come under a little bit of pressure. But I think it's, as I said earlier, so much of it is already priced in that we're seeing these cuts that maybe the dollar at best treads water, but possibly even grinds higher into this week. But obviously you have to play with price action to give us clues of exactly where it is going to go. So that's Monday. Tomorrow we have got some PMI data out of the Eurozone and the UK. Central bankers love a PMI data. For those that don't know, PMI is a forward-looking indicator, stands for Purchasing Managers Index. Anything above 50 is contracting. Anything below 50, anything above 50 is expanding. Anything below 50 is contracting. So we're expected to see that tomorrow, and normally moves the markets. If we're trading the euro, which is one of the stronger currencies at the moment, if these numbers come in higher than expected for the Eurozone in manufacturing and services, then you could expect possibly to see the euro trade higher. And then you've got pretty weak manufacturing PMIs out of the UK, 47.2% expected, slightly up from last month, but the numbers are expected to come in softer than last month in the flash services PMI. As I say, pound is under pressure. Buying euro pound might have some value, something that I'm also looking at on my radar for this week. Okay, so that's Tuesday. That's the PMI data. Wednesday, we've got CPI out of Australia. Okay, CPI is inflation. Okay, and we are expected to see inflation upticking 2.9% from 2.8%. The RBA will be announcing their interest rate decision the next week, next Tuesday, I think it is. And I won't be here. I'll be sailing on a yacht in Turkey. But it's likely that these numbers are pretty high, and it's likely that the RBA will be sitting on their hands at the next meeting. But these numbers are going to be quite important. If they were to come in slightly lower than 2.9, come in at 2.6 or 2.7, then there would be likelihood of an increase in the expectations of a cut, but I think it's more likely that they will be sitting on their hands. The Australian currency is reasonably strong at the moment as well. Okay, so that's Wednesday. Thursday, we've got SMB, Swiss National Bank, expected to leave their interest rates unchanged at 0%. There was calls for them to go negative, but it looks as though they'll be leaving interest rates unchanged. So no big fireworks expected there. We've also got the GDP numbers out of the US on Thursday. That's gross domestic product, expected to come in around 3.3% from 3.3%. You know, the definition of recession is 2 successive quarters with negative growth. Well, 3.3% quarter on quarter is quite healthy looking data out of the US, far away from recession. Another reason why interest rates are, well, where they are, and that's one of the reasons why you're seeing the Fed Chair Powell less reluctant to cut interest rates sooner rather than later, much to Trump's annoyance. So that's on Thursday, and finally on to wrap the week up, and I'll be streaming it live if you want to come and tune in. We'll be doing a trivia as well, trivia giveaway, $12,500 assessment account, given away live on stream. It's the PCE, it's the personal consumption expenditure. It's basically inflation, the inflation rates in the US. It is the main measure of inflation that the Fed like to use in determining their interest rate policy. They like to use this more than CPI. Personal consumption expenditure basically has a formula where it sort of has a changeable basket to match human trends, as opposed to the CPI, which is just basically a basket of goods and services. PCE sort of is adjusted for human trends and so forth, like summer months and so forth. Okay, so that is the data for this week. Okay, let's have a quick look to see if we've got any guesses coming in on the gold. What have we got coming in? We've got guesses coming in. Lots of guesses. Lots of people listening in. No one's chatting in the chat. What have we got? The highest we've got. Andre is coming in at 3,809. We got Baloney is coming in at 3,850. I think you could be right. My bias is up on gold. So the lowest we've got coming in is 3,604. 3,604 comes in from Ola. I think you won it a couple of weeks ago, didn't you? So Ola is going lower on gold. A majority of people are going higher on gold. I can tell you that. You have it. Yeah, we've got 3831 coming in from Dina. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that. You've still got another 5 minutes or so to get your guesses in using that link I put on the chat there. But remember, this is a 2-week guess. So although I think gold is, got the upward momentum, what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time? Well, it's anyone's guess, isn't it? I mean, how do you pick gold from these levels? I mean, as I say, it's been on a massive, massive tear to the upside. As a trader that doesn't, like to pick tops or bottoms unless you see reversal patterns. I don't just like to pick them, just for the sake of, it's overbought, or oversold. And I'm sure all the RSI indicators out there now are telling you that gold's overbought, but nonetheless, it told you it was overbought when it was trading at 3,500. The RSIs would be telling you it was overbought. It's must be telling you it's overbought again now. But for me, I still think it's got bullish momentum behind it. Okay, so I would look to get into the trend on breakouts. Now you had this breakout. The previous real sort of established high was at 3,000, sort of this zone here. Okay, so this is once we've taken out this high Okay, that high there with today's candle, well, a pullback to that would be a classic boomerang reversal trade. Okay, so this is the swing low that led to that new swing high, taking out the previous swing high. Well, your trade is basically looking for the pullback, and you take the pullback down to 3,000, sort of, 3,680, something like that, back to this zone. The stops are going to be below, and I think you can target higher. I mean, this move here, this move, this is really difficult to pick tops, from, because there's nothing to base it on. Yeah, there's no sort of price action towards the left of the chart that you can base it on. But I think this breakout or this move here, now we've taken out this high, could be duplicated. I love 100% duplication. So the swing low to that swing high, so your target 3780. So that would be a potential trade setup. And why, if it gets to 3,800, why doesn't it go all the way to 4,000 in time? Maybe it's the trade for the beach. Buying gold, sit on the beach for the next 6 months. Interest rates coming down, global uncertainty, solid buying of bullion. It's not just CFDs that are trading this higher. Big increases in demand from India, central banks. It goes higher, doesn't it? I like gold. Anyway, there's your boomerang trend continuation trade in gold. Pulls back to 3,690 zone. You take the long trade. The stops go below the swing low that led to that new high, and your profit target. That's the way I'll be playing gold, quite frankly. I mentioned to you the WTI. We've got support at 61.20. Look at the weekly chart of WTI. What I'm looking for here in the weekly chart are these long wicked candles. Every time we have a push higher, it's met by a wave of selling. Okay, apart from this candle here, we've had these lower highs each time. Last week, we failed to take out the previous high up here. It's a downtrending market. I think this has got potential, certainly, to get back down to the 60 zone. Okay, so I've established my bias, and now I would drill down to the lower time frames to get my trades. Roadblock support is seen at 61. So you can sell, it's 61.80 at the moment. So you can sell this into 61. You mostly want to hold back selling where your profit target needs to be other side on the pullback. But once it breaks 61, this can go down all the way down to 55 really, which I think is it would be the next target, which would basically take us down to about here. This well, you got first support would be in at 59.50, and then all the way down to 55. This has got fundamentals working for it as well. I think Iran are increasing their production. Sorry, Iraq are increasing their production. You've got the rolling back of production cuts from OPEC plus countries as well. So oversupply coming in. WTI trades lower, doesn't it? I would have thought. Why has cable gone south after the Fed cut rates? I tell you why cable. I think well, the reason why I think the pound's going low is because of not because of interest rates, which are mostly going to stay where they are for a while. It must be trades where it is because of the problems that the UK economy is in. The economy is in, there's massive deficits in the UK. Fiscal problems. The UK government are likely to have to raise taxes again at the next budget, and because of the fiscal problems, with deficits, it loses an attractive currency to be in. So that's why I think cable's trading lower, and I think and the Fed cutting rates. Well, I mean, here's the momentum meter. Look, this is the pound is the white line. Okay, so it's trading lower. This is the daily. If you look at the 4-hour chart, the white line is again is the is cable. Look, is pound. White line is pound. It's a weak currency. Aussie's looking strong. Euro's looking reasonably strong. I quite like euro pound, as I mentioned. I think the euro pound has got more potential to the upside. Okay, so I use the momentum meter not to tell me the future, but tells me where I should focus my eyes, focus my attention. The moment, euro is strong, pound is weak. Okay, if you're following trends, doesn't it make sense to buy a strong currency and sell a weak currency? Treehawk, government spending does not appear to have a clear, coherent, go-forward plan to curb public spending. Absolutely, Treehawk. Remember your wise words from before. Absolutely. Why did the euro dollar sold after the Fed cut interest rates instead of going up? Because as I said, Mastano, obviously the markets have been short dollar. The dollar is down about 15% since the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken. If the market is pretty much short dollar, we're expecting these rate cuts. When they cut interest rates, you'd expect the dollar to trade lower, but the market had got themselves so short of the dollar. That's why I think you've just had a reversal of those short-term traders. Now, I think in time, in time, I think the trend should come back. The euro have got, inflation already down at 2%. They're not going to be cutting interest rates anytime soon. The dollar is going to be at the back foot of rate cuts. So I think the euro against the dollar does trade off. I mean, trade higher from here. But it did sell off, yeah. But I think it continues. Anyway, euro pound, we've broken all resistance. We've got next level 87.50. We're not far from here, to be honest. What we got? We got only about 25 pips on this currency pair. It's not a big ATR on here, is there? But I think it still trades higher. If it pulls back to 87 and change, then that's basically your boomerang trend continuation trade. Buying where you expect to see liquidity. Okay, so you expect to see liquidity. I tell you now that the little resistance, I think, to the upside, pound could come under pressure. In the months and the months ahead, especially with this out of control spending, as it were. So I agree. Euro pound. What about, say, the euro dollar? We did have our road block resistance at 118. It shot through there initially, but look at this candle. That was the FOMC candle. Yeah, on the Wednesday last week. Initially shot up. Yeah, dollar weakness. Road blocks the resistance at 118. I personally think this is what I'll be looking at for here would be, well, a boomerang reversal. 118 we know is roadblock resistance. Hits the high, pulls back, goes again, pulls back. That is your structural break. Okay, we did break it and trade lower. Now it's coming up here. I don't know. I think this is technically it's most probably a sell. Stops above 118.70, takes us back to 115.75. Again, not investment advice. Don't trade it. I don't have a position on in here at the moment. But that break of structure on the boomerang strategy would basically take you down to support zone at 115.80. 2-to-1 risk reward. You can place that trade. and just it's going to take a while for it to play out. It's 100 pips to the upside as you stop, but I quite like this reversal pattern. It shows you that there's money waiting there at 118. Pound Aussie. %50 of the moves, pulling back, previous support, bearish engulfer. This is a trade low as well, isn't it? Not another. This is not a classic boomerang, as you know, but when you've got a weak pound, this is certainly is a mighty level. From looking at all these bottoms there, we're back up to it. I quite like that trade to the downside. Not a classic boomerang, but nonetheless. It's a negative bias, certainly. Even at 1-to-1, I mean, even at previous support, you get 1.2 to 1 with stops above. Just quickly then look at the indices. Indices continuing to grind higher. Bit of a pullback going on today, but this has been a bit of a playground really. This is obviously going to be the FOMC. Yeah, that's the FOMC candle here. Initially trades lower. Now stocks are definitely got the momentum to the upside. 4-hour boomerang trend right there. Tesla is in the NAS. It's most probably accounting for a lot of that, but that's a boomerang trend continuation trade there, and you can pick a top. It's a strong trending market. Have your stops in place, of course. Gosh, right, okay, folks. I'll leave that there for today. Congratulations to our winner, to Kyan. If you're listening in, congratulations. Send me an email straight after the stream, education@fundedtradingplus.com, and we'll send you the coupon to allow you to get into your 12.5. And if you like Ray, you could be trading live money in a short period of time with discipline trading. So there you have it. Okay, I'll be streaming live on Friday for the PCE, as I said, giving away another 12.5K assessment account. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you don't already do so. And don't forget, if you want to get involved in any of the education, when you take out an assessment account 50K or above, use the PopIQ coupon code, and that will give you access to me one-on-one, plus all our education material as well. We're giving this to serious traders that want to basically change their trading for the better. So use the PopIQ coupon code at the checkout, and I'll rush you all the login details and set yourself up for one-on-one with me. One-on-one this week are slightly busy. I've got a few slots left. Next week, of course, I won't be here, but you can get something in the diary. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. Have a good week. See you Friday. We'll see you Friday. Kyan, congratulations. Hello, sir. So you're listening in. Well done. Make sure you haven't just created a name called Kyan. So send me an email so I can tally it up. Great. Yes, like old times. Yeah, I feel like old times, Tree Hawk. I've been doing this for a long time. All right, folks. Thanks for that. Have a good week. Speak to you soon.